Hi, this is Mrs. Hatteberg for MNVA US History, and I'm here to talk to you about the Unit 2 research project. You've already, at this point, watched my 2.01 video on choosing a research topic, and now you're at the point of choosing your presentation format. What's your project going to look like? What's the end product that you're going to be asked to create? You have a couple of options here, actually a lot of options. So you have been K-mailed an assignment sheet that has all of your requirements. It should look like this. And I just want to say that some of this information is going to conflict with what's in the lesson, and that is because we've changed some of the requirements. Actually, we've made some of them easier than what the lesson content is actually asking you. But we'll start here on page 3 of the 2.02 presentation format choice. It does suggest to go here to this National History Day website and check out some other project examples. You might be able to get a really great idea of what your project should look like and what other students have used to create. We do follow this National History Day project template setup. So at the end of all of this, if you really are proud of what you create, you can submit it to the National History Day website for their to be included in this examples. Okay, so here is where we deviate and actually explain a little bit more. So right here it says your presentation format choices are a paper, documentary, exhibit, or a website. Let's go here to look at this. So the requirements for whatever you choose are going to be similar, okay? So all of the choices that you have, we still have the same requirements. Obviously, it needs to relate to the topic, a turning point in U.S. history. That's no negotiation there. Your topic has to be this, a turning point in U.S. history. However, how you choose to, what you select for your turning point is going to be a wide range of items. Remember, it's from the beginning of American history to 1965. Your project has to demonstrate a significance of your topic is history and draws conclusions about the topic. So it needs to relate to history. Don't relate it to something else. This is U.S. history class, so that's self-explanatory. A minimum, you have to have 2 primary and 2 secondary sources. Again, if you go into the content, it's going to tell you something different about the requirements here. But we want 2 primary and 2 secondary. And this is just a reminder, is that remember, a primary source is anything that was written at the time or produced at the time. First-hand account. So here's a great example. For example, if you're researching the Revolutionary War, a letter written by General George Washington at Valley Forge, it was written by General Washington, that's a primary source. A secondary source is anything that is analyzing, probably a primary source. So a document recording created by someone who was not there, who was not an eyewitness. So this is any books that you're going to read, reliable websites that you're using, journal articles, encyclopedias, anything like that. Those are all secondary sources. And our requirements is that you have 2 primary and 2 secondary sources. It has to be U.S. history related, no world history topics here. It needs to be between the years of 1700 and 1965. So if you want to do something post 1965, we most likely are just going to say no, but if you have something you're really passionate about, just check with us first. Remember to keep a narrow focus. Watch my 2.01 video to find out how you're doing with that. If you need help with that, just let us know. You're also going to need to use in-text citations in MLA format. Watch for a future video about that. And then you'll need to do an annotated bibliography and a process paper, of which I'll also have future videos. Okay. Wikipedia's personal blogs and student-made websites are not acceptable research sources. So please make sure you're using valid resources. If you have a question about if something is a valid resource, don't hesitate to ask one of us. All right, so let's get into what you'll actually create. Here are some of your options. Your first option is the most basic. It's just a research paper. So complete a standard research paper, and our requirements are that this paper should be about 700 to 1,000 words, which equates to approximately 3 pages double-spaced. So don't freak out, this isn't super huge. We know already your requirements for you, American Lit and for English are about 3 pages single space, which is about double what we're asking here. So you've done this before. This isn't too daunting to ask here. So this is just standard research paper. If you know that you're already writing a research paper for possibly your English class, and you can combine these somehow and turn it in and make it meet the requirements for both assignments, so long as it's meeting the requirements, we're okay with that. Okay, so you can turn it in for English and still turn it in for US history. Another option, which is more fun, I think, a little bit more allows for some creativity here, is to write a historical fiction essay. So you'll use your turning point, but use it as historical fiction. So this, you could do pretend you were actually there, or create a character to take the journey through this turning point. You'll still have to prove that this was a turning point, and all your facts are going to be based in history, but this is your chance to be creative. Your character could have lived during this time and should be believable as a true character at this time period, but we're going to see it through their eyes. So the fiction comes in the part of the character that you're creating. If you have questions on any of these, please see us. So your next option is to create a presentation. So a lot of times when we think of a presentation, automatically we say, okay, PowerPoint. So that's what we're thinking here. I want you to kind of think in that genre of a PowerPoint, but it's not limited to just PowerPoint. We need to see, again, you're using those 4 different sources, 2 primary and 2 secondary. And your requirements here as far as length have to be approximately 15 to 20 different parts or slides. So if you're doing a traditional PowerPoint, that would be about 20 slides of information, not including your bibliography and not including your title page. So we want to see 20 pieces of actual content here. However, you can choose to do this in a lot of different varieties. You can use PowerPoint, Google Slides, Prezi, youtellastory.com, toondo.com, VoiceThread. These are just some of different websites that you can use that we know are available. These are just suggestions. There are other things that you could use too. So if you know of a website or have played around a little bit with something and you think that it would be a great way to convey your presentation, that's fine. Just let us know and go for it. We'd like to see creativity here. So whereas option 1, the research paper, this is conveying the information through text. I want you to think of this presentation option as conveying it through pictures. This is going to be more of a visual medium. Where this is a visual, this is text. The third option is more activity-based because you're asking your audience to be involved in whatever you create. So create a website. 2 options here are to create a living history website, so where you would have a static topic and then you kind of dive into the different topics by having explaining more about it and having different links. We want to see hyperlinks within the web pages. Sites that you could use to build this on are Google sites, FreeWebMe, Weebly, Wix, Orbs, Jux. There are other sites, of course, so if you've done this before, have experience. If you are nervous about creating the research paper and then on top of it you decide to embark on a brand new web design program that you've never used before, maybe that's not the best combination. So if you are wanting to get a little creative but you are ready to take on this new medium here, that's when you might want to choose a website. Don't choose website if you've never kind of done something like that before. Another way to create a website is to create an interactive timeline of your turning point. So include music, quotation, pictures, as well as explanations of each point in the timeline. So again, you use the 4 sources. Your timeline would have the same 15 to 20 items, and the sites. So sites that you could use are myhistro.com, TimeToast, and Dippity. Those are a couple of different things you could use to build an interactive timeline. This also could be considered more of a visual medium, but allows the audience to participate in whatever you're creating. And then the last option is going to be a documentary. So this is going to be basically a video research paper, because technically you'll have to create a script first. So you'll write almost like a research paper that you're going to read through your documentary. But people who like to be more of the actor side, this might be your thing. So the video should be about 7 to 10 minutes long and create using those same 4 different sources. Be creative. We'd love to see music, pictures, and have it be like a personal interview or something. We want this to be fun. So if you want to really have fun with this assignment, please do this. We don't need, I'm thinking here, more like the crash course videos that we've shared with you, more so than just, this, my face staring at you, explaining something. These aren't that fun. We want to see your documentaries be a little more fun than this, okay? So some examples are WeVideo, Weebly, Powtoon, Smilebox, Animoto, Pixoral, WeVideo. So again, more suggestions out there. If you're creative, you can find those. One thing before you decide on that, and as you're looking through, here's your rubric. This is what we're going to use to grade you when you're done and evaluate your work. So you'll want to use this as a checklist to make sure that you have everything in here. We're looking for historical quality. Do you have historically accurate information? 20% of your grade is going to come to the relation of the theme. So if you totally forget to talk about the turning point and tie this to the turning point, you're going to lose out on 20% of your grade right there. Clarity of presentation. We need to see that it's clear, original, appropriate, and well presented. We want to see quality work here. And then obviously there's possible deductions at this point here. So if you have any questions on what any of these are, or if you want to run by an idea, so you have an idea of a website that you want to use or project that you want to create, just let us know. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.